Hi guys, it's Jess and welcome back to my channel. Today is a little bit of a chatty video and I wanted to talk to you about my rating system and how I rate books because it's a topic that I find really interesting and it can be quite controversial actually. I have seen a little bit of a more intense conversation surrounding how people rate their books and what's right or wrong on social media lately. I don't know if that's the same for you, but yeah, it always interests me how different people have different ways of rating their books, and there are people out there that will rate books critically, they're critical thinkers, and so they rate books based on things like, the writing style and the concepts, really in-depth things that my brain just can't comprehend. And then there are people like me that will just rate books based on how it made them feel or things like that. And I don't really think there's any right or wrong way to rate a book. You rate a book how you want, So this is not me telling you how you should rate a book. You rate a book how you want. If you want to give a book that I rated 2 stars, 5 stars, go ahead. It's totally up to you. And I think that's what's so great about reading, is that it's so diverse and everybody is different and people are going to like books you hate and vice versa. There's so much variety, and it just really interests me how people see things differently. And yeah, so this is not me, telling you to adopt my rating system. This is just something that I do for me based on, a number of things. But I don't really base my ratings on certain aspects of the book. I kind of based it on how I felt about it afterwards. And don't get me wrong, there are things that I do take into consideration, like the writing style, characters, plot, concepts, how it made me feel, things like that. But overall, I just tend to kind of rate a book based on how much of an impact it had on me, how much enjoyment I got out of it, things like that. So I use the 5-star rating system that pretty much everybody else uses, that you can get on Goodreads and any other kind of book reviewing site, NetGalley, things like that. I kind of, split my stars up into kind of, different, I don't want to say emotions because that's not the right word, but yeah, it's kind of like that in, 1 being I really hated it, to 5 being I really loved it. So we'll start with star 1, which is I absolutely hated it. So I don't really give books 1-star ratings that much. I have to really, really hate a book to give it 1 star. And I'm one of those people where I generally kind of try to find the positives in everything. But if there is a book that I have read and I really didn't like it and I can't see anything positive in it, if it's a book that I really wouldn't recommend to anyone, then that one gets 1 star. And I always feel really sad when I give 1 stars, but it happens. And I'm trying to think actually of a book where I have given 1 star, and I can only think of 2 off the top of my head, and I'm not going to tell you what they are because I don't want to start an angry mob in my comments. But yeah, there's not many that I've given 1 star to. I've generally liked pretty much every book that I've read in some aspect. But if there isn't any redeeming qualities to the book, if I hated everything, if I hated the plot, if I hated the pacing, if I hated the characters, if I just really, really can't find anything good to say about it, then it goes here. So then we've got star 2. And for me, star 2 is, it was okay, but I generally didn't like it. So it's kind of a neutral star for me because I can see the good and I can also see the bad. And I've given this rating out a fair bit recently in past years, but I don't consider it to be a bad rating. Like I said, it's a neutral rating. So I, didn't really feel much towards it, but I can kind of see why people would like it. So I don't think 2 stars are that bad of a rating. It just means that the book wasn't for me. And I will still recommend 2-star books to people if I think it's a book that they're gonna like. Just because I didn't particularly enjoy it doesn't mean that somebody else won't as well. So yeah, 2-star is neutral for me. So then we've got star 3, which is the most common rating that I give books. I think that's the same for everybody. I've seen some people say that they think that 3 stars is a pretty low rating, but I don't think it's a low rating at all. I think it's quite a positive rating, actually. I give 3 stars to books that I generally enjoyed overall, but it did have some issues. So, if 25% of the book had a few niggles here and there that I weren't enjoying, but 75% of the book was still really good, I still really liked it, then that's a 3-star book for me, The positives kind of outweigh the negatives. So I don't think 3 stars is a bad review at all. I think it's a pretty positive review, and I still recommend 3-star books to people because, like I said, just because I rated it 3 stars doesn't mean that somebody else isn't going to rate it more highly. It's just generally how the book made me feel when I finished it. So 3 stars for me is I liked it, pretty much. Now we've got star 4, and I give 4 stars to quite a lot of books actually. And I gave 4 stars to quite a few books last year. For me, 4-star means my almost favourites. It means that I really, really liked it. But I felt like there was something missing. So that something could literally be anything. It really depends on the type of book, or it could be a little something that just kind of let the book down, like the pacing or the ending or a particular character or a plot point that didn't make sense. It really just depends. But I think 4 stars is a really, really positive rating, and I always recommend 4-star books to everybody because I still think they definitely deserve the attention. It's just that there was something missing, something that didn't quite give it the wow factor, which then moves me on to star 5. So 5 stars is obviously the highest rating that you can give a book, and I kind of throw around my 5-star ratings everywhere. I have a lot of 5-star books, but 5 stars to me just means that the book is my absolute favourite thing ever. I loved it from start to finish. I can't find fault with it. I just absolutely adore every single word of it. A 5-star book for me is just a book that has amazing characters, an amazing story, amazing pacing. The writer has a really good way with words, really sucks me in. But it's also a book that makes me feel really excited, anticipating what's happening in every scene, wanting to get to the end to just find out what happens. But a 5-star book also makes me not want to finish it because I don't want it to end. You guys know what I mean. But yeah, that's the bin men. Anyway, that's my rating system, and that's what works for me. And it's pretty simple, I'm not a critical thinker. I try to be critical sometimes, but I don't want to be overly critical because I feel like that would just ruin my enjoyment of reading. But yeah, that's my rating system. Like I said, you don't have to do your rating system the way I do it. You probably do it a completely different way, and that is totally fine. It is totally subjective. Everybody has their opinions, and that's what makes it such a wonderful community to be part of. I just wanted to give you a little bit of an insight into how I rate my books, the reasoning behind some of my ratings that you might think are too generous or too harsh. I don't really care. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up here. I really apologise about the bin men that have just decided to make an entrance. They do this all the time when I'm filming. And it's a Wednesday today. They normally come on a Thursday, so what the fuck are they doing? Anyway, let me know in the comments down below what your rating system is and whether you do it very similar to me or if you do it completely different. I would love to know. Please leave a cheeky thumbs up if you like this video. Please subscribe to my channel so you can see more videos from me in the future. And I will see you all in another video very soon. Bye guys!